People who identify as Christians but claim that there is no goddess have something in common with people who identify as Christians but claim that there is a divine council of many divine gods. Both groups of false teachers claim that the grammatically singular form of the Hebrew verb bara in Genesis 1:27 supports their respective claims. The false teachers who claim that there is no goddess claim that the grammatically singular verb form of bara in Genesis 1:27 proves that the Elohim of Genesis 1:27 really is just a single God with no goddess. And the false teachers who claim that there is a divine council of many divine gods claim that Genesis 1:27 references God creating mankind after having allegedly spoken to a divine council back in Genesis 1:26. First of all, Deuteronomy 6:4 is true and correct. Yahweh is one God, but the English word one in Deuteronomy 6:4 was translated from the Hebrew word ehad, which means united. Genesis 2:24 reveals that a husband and wife are one flesh, and the English word one was translated from ehad. A husband and wife are ehad, united, not one single person literally. El, the masculine deity, and his goddess are one God. Ehad, God. They are united, husband and wife. As for the grammatically singular verb form of the Hebrew verb bara in Genesis 1:27, certain claims regarding it are false doctrines. The false teachers who spread lies about that grammatically singular verb form in Genesis 1:27 have been claiming that in biblical Hebrew, a grammatically singular verb, as in Genesis 1:27, is proof that the related action was performed by a single performer. In the case of Genesis 1:27, false teachers claim that grammatically singular verb form is proof that mankind was created by a mere single God, a God without a goddess. First of all, remember that the Hebrew noun ELOHIM in Genesis 1:27 is grammatically plural. Secondly, always remember that a Bible verse can have a grammatically plural Hebrew noun associated with a grammatically singular Hebrew verb. In a verse in which the noun is plural, grammatically and in context. The grammatically singular verb factor not magically mandating that the related action was performed by a single performer. That is what those false teachers are not telling you. So let's go to the Holy Bible. In all of the following Bible verses, a grammatically plural Hebrew noun is associated with, referenced by, a grammatically singular Hebrew verb. A detailed explanation of each verse is in the description box below. And one of the main points in discussing these verses is that Genesis 1:27 is in the same category with them. The Hebrew noun Elohim in Genesis 1:27 is grammatically plural, and the Hebrew verb bara in Genesis 1:27 is grammatically singular. The grammatically singular status of the Hebrew verb bara in Genesis 1:27 does not dictate that Elohim is a mere single deity rather than El and his goddess. Compare that fact to these verses on the screen. The grammatically singular status of each Hebrew verb does not dictate that each respective Hebrew noun is singular in context. The preceding scriptural facts sharply rebuke false teachers who claim that the grammatically singular Hebrew verb bara in Genesis 1:27 proves that there is no goddess. El and his goddess have the perfect marriage, and grammatically singular verbs reverence their perfect marriage. And yet there are Bible verses in which grammatically plural Hebrew verbs, for instance, reference God. All of the following Bible verses have grammatically plural Hebrew grammar that references God. And one factor that is particularly devastating to certain false doctrines is that some of these verses specifically reference Yahweh. Those verses categorically reference the fact that Elohim is Yahweh. Perhaps you already joyfully embrace the scriptural fact that Elohim is Yahweh. However, certain false doctrines are widely circulating right now, and we will examine scriptures that sharply rebuke those false doctrines. Elohim is Yahweh, and we need to meditate on the facts that the Hebrew noun Elohim is grammatically plural, whereas the Hebrew personal noun Yahweh is grammatically singular. And remember that the Hebrew word ehad appears in Genesis 2:24 and Deuteronomy 6:4. A husband and wife are ehad. El and his goddess are ehad. Ehad means united in marriage. Ehad does not mean one in the sense of a single one. A husband and wife are one in the sense of marriage. So when you meditate on Deuteronomy 6:4 and Yahweh being one, ehad, also meditate on the Bible verses that not only equate Elohim with Yahweh, but also have grammatically plural Hebrew grammar that references Yahweh. Joshua 24:19, Jeremiah 10:10, and Jeremiah 23:36 categorically equate Elohim with Yahweh, and each of those verses also contains grammatically plural Hebrew grammar that references Yahweh. Yahweh categorically referenced by grammatically plural Hebrew grammar. This is Scripture categorically rebuking false doctrines. In Joshua 24:19, holy ones was translated from the Hebrew word kadoshim, which is the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew word kadosh. In Jeremiah 10:10 and Jeremiah 23:36, living ones was translated from the Hebrew word chayim, which is the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew word chai. In Genesis 20:13, the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb ta'ah references what Elohim did to Abram, specifically, categorically, what Yahweh did to Abram back in Genesis 12:1. The grammatically plural Hebrew verb ta'ah in Genesis 20:13 references what Yahweh did. Yahweh is El and his goddess, husband and wife, ehad, united. In 2 Samuel 7:23, the English words they went are a translation of the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb halach, and halach in 2 Samuel 7:23 appears in association with, in reference to Elohim. In Psalm 58:11, the English words one's judging are a translation of the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb shaphat, and shaphat in Psalm 58:11 appears in association with, in reference to Elohim. Yahweh is Elohim. Elohim is El and his goddess. Genesis 1:26 uses the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb asa to reference what El and his goddess did. Genesis 20:13 uses the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb ta'ah to reference what El and his goddess did. 2 Samuel 7:23 uses the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb halach to reference what El and his goddess did. Psalm 58:11 uses the grammatically plural form of the Hebrew verb shaphat to reference what El and his goddess did. See the description box below.